Bong Joon and Adam McKay are set to make a Parasite miniseries. That is the headline on today's MB Movie News. And yes guys, this one is coming in from Empire, and as the title does suggest, Bong Joon and the much lauded, critically acclaimed Adam McKay are set to collab on a miniseries. I do believe it is HBO who have bid in a very competitive bidding war for the rights to Parasite. Of course, the immensely successful, critically acclaimed and now Golden Globe winner, which hasn't came to the United Kingdom yet, incidentally, so I'll be getting into that one very, very soon. But first and foremost, I want to speak about the potential artistic merit to a miniseries. Is it required? Does the South Korean movie on its own, does it have enough substance about it to maybe not require a TV show being crafted, adapted, whatever words you want to use, so soon after its release? Does it have enough about it? Well, as I did say, it's not out here yet, so I can't actually speak about its artistic merits. But I think it's a strange decision for, first and foremost, probably Bong Joon, because he owns the rights to Parasite, so why is he feeling it's necessary to come out and create a mini-series on HBO so soon, not even a year after the movie's release in I think South Korea first and foremost, and then it's rolled out, released throughout the rest of the world. I don't understand why he feels it's necessary. This is a movie which has been gaining a whole lot of traction throughout the world. It's been a huge hit over in the United States. It's grossed very good money. It seems to be connecting with audiences throughout the world, regardless of it being a foreign language movie or not. And yeah, I just find this a little perplexing, this story. But look, could it work? HBO seem to be the absolute kings of adapting a wide variety of different genres and stories to miniseries format. They've been doing it since the early 2000s with the likes of Band of Brothers, and also later on the Pacific. Most recently we've got Chernobyl, which is just, again, critically acclaimed, been nominated for so many Golden Globes, so many Oscars. Well, not so many Oscars. I believe it's been nominated for an Oscar. So certainly if any production company was going to take on the rights to Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, then it would be HBO who I'd want doing it. And certainly Adam McKay is an incredibly talented producer, writer. Of course, he worked on Vice, he's worked on The Big Short, but he's also worked on some really cool comedy movies as well, going back into the early 2000s. So this is a guy who knows how to balance some neat genres. And one thing that I took from the trailers and from critical response to Parasite is that it's a really cool satirical study of society in Seoul. I want to say it's Seoul, I always get that wrong. Seoul. A nice sort of character study on the socio-economic problems in Seoul, and it seems to balance the satire with really cool dark comedy in various moments. So he may be the guy to come on board and work in tandem with Bong Joon-ho in creating a really successful miniseries. As I did say though, I find it very strange. I think Parasite in its own right has earned enough plaudits, earned enough recognition throughout the world to not really necessitate a TV show being spawned off of it. But look, Bong Joon-ho's on board for it. He's apparently very happy to work in tandem with Adam McKay, so who am I to criticise this man, this incredibly talented guy who incidentally I've been watching more and more of, been looking into his back catalogue, and I really am taken aback by this man's directing ability, his artistic vision, if you like. He's just an incredible chap, really taken aback by his speech at the Golden Globes as well, where he does say that language shouldn't be a barrier to a great movie, and I completely agree with that. I am a big fan of watching foreign language movies, have done for a number of years. I love watching movies from all over the world, getting a sense of culture, just seeing how we're all the same despite maybe thousands of miles of difference. We all experience the same issues, the same societal issues in terms of class and whatnot, the same burden in terms of the elite is trampling down on people and maybe not giving a shit. We've seen that with the likes of Taylor Sheridan in Hell or High Water, and obviously that one with Jeremy Renner. And we've seen it all the way through to a Bong Joon. So certainly, it looks like they've got his heart's in the right place. He's trying to connect this story with as many people, as many territories as possible. And look, I'll watch it no matter what. But first and foremost, I want to watch the movie. And as I did say, we have still not seen this movie. This movie is coming out last in the United Kingdom and in Ireland of any other territory in the world. It's coming out in its final release here. We are the last people on the planet to get to see this movie. I have no idea why that's happening. I don't know the rationale behind it. And I'd really wish it came out at the same time as in the States. I believe it was the 8th of November 8th, whatever way you want to see it. So yeah, that's really disappointing. But look, I can't wait to see the movie. I can't wait to see perhaps an Adam McKay, Bong Joon miniseries. And I'm going to move on that note because I've not got much more to add. I'm acutely aware that I'm already solid 8-9 minutes into this show. So I'll move on to the next topic, which is kind of interconnecting into Parasite, because it's all about the 2020 Oscar nominations and some of the controversy which has spawned out of it. Surprise, it wouldn't be an Oscar nomination ceremony, whatever the hell you want to call it, without there being a wide array of butthurt and controversy spawning out of it. And this year it's all about a lack of people of colour being nominated, a lack of female nominees in the acting categories and in the directing categories. That doesn't make sense, incidentally. There's dedicated female categories. But I hope you know what I mean. There's a lack of female nominees in the directing category. Greta Gerwig, first and foremost, who could argue that her movie should have been, or her name should have been in amongst those nominees for Best Director. Little Women's a fantastic movie, incidentally. I finally got a chance to go and watch it. I was really blown away by a number of performances in there. And then also you've got the likes of Saoirse Ronan, who she has picked up a nomination for Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress. I'll get into it in a minute. So yeah, I'll get the controversy out of the way first and foremost. Greta Gerwig has a real claim to have perhaps been nominated in that Best Directing category. But out with that, I mean, I know there was another Asian director whose name completely eludes me at the moment, and it's absolutely shocking because she was on a round table conversation with the likes of Scorsese and Todd Phillips, and she's a wonderful director. And by all accounts, I think it's an A24 movie she did. It's absolutely wonderful, and it may have its own right to have been nominated, or she may have had her own right to be nominated. Can you tell I am sleep deprived, incidentally? I'm really toiling here. But yeah, much ado about nothing, if you ask me, this controversy. Yeah, Greta Gerwig aside and the aforementioned Asian director, I don't think there can be much bickering over the directors chosen here. This is a really strong stacked year for movies, for directing, for performances. And I can't have any complaints about Martin Scorsese, Todd Phillips, Sam Mendes, Quentin Tarantino and Bong Joon being nominated in the Best Directing category. I think that's probably the correct choices. There seems to be a growing backlash against Joker at the moment, as if it's some pile of shit movie that's not worthy of getting nominated for awards across the board, Golden Globes, BAFTAs, Oscars. And I don't get on board with that at all. It was my number one movie that I seen last year. I've now seen 1917 and Jojo Rabbit, and they'd probably pip it. But of the movies I've seen last year, it was at number one. So I'm not on board at all with this chat about Joker circumstances changing around its artistic merit. I think it's a wonderful movie. I really liked what Todd Phillips did, the performance he got out of Joaquin Phoenix, how it studied society's place in crafting monsters and just creating loners and really alienating people who are perhaps different to the perceived norm. So yeah, I've no issues with Best Director, and incidentally I've covered Best Directing as a group of nominees. Best Picture: Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Again, I can't have any complaints about those nominations. You could make a case for Booksmart, maybe The Farewell, maybe I don't know, The Lighthouse. That's the other one that springs to mind. Maybe that's sneaking in. But A24 are notorious for not campaigning strongly for Oscars. You have to put the work in, you have to put the money in as a studio. This is, it's almost like another world when it comes to political movements and whatnot. You really have to earn the right to get your movie nominated. It's not just about, it's just desserts being served through artistic merit, and just in terms of, performances. You have to go out and really charm the Academy, charm the main players in Hollywood. And that's what some nefarious figures from the past, shady gets like Harvey Weinstein, they were renowned for charming the hell out of the Academy and getting lesser known, smaller budget movies into these nomination spots. And that's probably why we've not seen The Lighthouse in there. And it's probably why we've not seen a great deal of nominations for A24 studio movies. We've only got one, and I think it's The Lighthouse, incidentally, for Best Cinematography. And that's probably undeniable. What Robert Eggers managed to create along in tandem with also the cinematographer was wonderful. But aside from that, Best Picture, I can't have any complaints. I think it's a fair reflection of the best movies, the top 9 best movies of the last annual period. You could make a real argument that at least 5 of them are superfluous and that have got no chance of winning. For me, the favourite is probably a joint thing with Joker in 1917. Then you would probably have The Irishman as a dark horse and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in there with a chance. Sadly, I don't see Parasite being the best picture of the year. I think it'll be 1917. Personally, it's got so much momentum behind it, and it's won the Golden Globe, and it's now been nominated for BAFTAs. I just feel that there's so much momentum behind this movie, and I loved it. I thought Sam Mendes done a magnificent job with that movie. It's got a real personal touch with him through his grandfather, and I just thought it was a beautifully directed movie. He really managed to work miracles with this one-shot continuous technique, being a long, long way away from the likes of George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman, and yet still managing to imbue their performances with just the right level of emotion, the right level of disconnection from this horror scene that is World War One, and just getting great performances out of them in general. So I have no gripes with 1917 being in there. I have no gripes with Sam Mendes being in the best directing spot. Best actors, Antonio Banderas. This could be a contentious one, and I could get on board with William Dafoe not being nominated for The Lighthouse. Apparently it was absolutely magnificent. I haven't seen the movie yet. I intend to address that and see it as soon as it comes out. I'm not sure if it's even out over here yet, incidentally. But Antonio Banderas, supposedly fantastic in Pain and Glory. I've not seen that one yet. Adam Driver was wonderful in Marriage Story, utterly sublime, proving once again that he is a magnificent actor. Leonardo DiCaprio, really enjoyed him as Rick Dalton in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I have no gripes with that. Jonathan Pryce was really, really, really good as Pope Francis in The Two Popes, alongside the great Anthony Hopkins as obviously the Pope something. Benedict. There's a term for it. And it's not Pope, it's like Pope something else. They were really good together. And then also the clear frontrunner, Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, or from Joker as Arthur Fleck. I think Joaquin's got this sewn up. I think he deserves it. Just an incredible performance from that man. It all really lay in his performance. The movie was crafted around about him, and he made it. So for me, there's no real issues. William Dafoe aside, in that category, some people have argued for Eddie Murphy as obviously Dolomite, and Dolomite is my name, or From Dolomite is my name, I should say. I don't know if his name's Dolomite. I've not seen the movie yet. It's on Netflix. I need to watch it, but there's a limit to how many movies even I can watch. And then obviously you've got Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems, not getting any love, but that was a hard movie to watch by all accounts, so it's not really surprising. There's a limit to what the Academy can do. Incidentally, I think they should expand the best acting category out to maybe 6 nominations, because it feels like if you're going to nominate 9 best pictures, it's wrong to have half that for the best actor and actress categories. I think like they should maybe expand that out. Moving on to Best Actress though, Cynthia Erivo. I've not seen her yet. I can't speak about that. Scarlett Johansson, she is doing dual duty here. She's been nominated for both categories, Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress. She's been nominated in this category for Marriage Story, and we have Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renée Zellweger for Judy. Again, I have no issues. Jennifer Lopez, a lot of people have... No, she was Best Supported Actress, sorry, I'll get into that in a minute. I have no issues with this category at all, and I think it's probably Saoirse Ronan's year. You can never write off Scarlett Johansson, but I don't think she'll win it for Marriage Story, despite being incredible in that as well. Renée Zellweger, really good as Judy Garland and Judy, but I think it's Saoirse Ronan's year. She was sublime in that movie, sublime. Incidentally, 3 nominations in 3 different decades, 25 years old. What the hell? It's just ridiculous talent. I'm not going to go through every single category here, incidentally. I've got a couple of other topics I want to speak about, but I digress. There's been a lot of controversy around this year's nominations again, and I completely disagree. I think they've done a reasonable job. Some people would say they've played it safe, but I think in the main they've made the right decisions, and the right people who will ultimately go on and win the nominations have been chosen here. So I have no gripes. I will do a couple of more categories and give my thoughts. Best Adapted Screenplay: The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, The Two Popes. No issues there. My personal choice, I would like to see Jojo Rabbit win for Taika Waititi, because I loved that movie. One of my favourite of the last year, and I love Taika. So I'd love to see some love being sent, but I wouldn't cry if Greta Gerwig won for Little Women, because she's been shunned for obviously Best Director. So throw her a bone. It was a really good movie, and she was a big part in the movie. Best Original Screenplay: Knives Out, Rian Johnson's Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. This is a really stacked category. I don't think I could actually pick a winner here. It's just incredible. When you look at that category, it is mind-blowing. Knives Out was incredible. Marriage Story was amazing. 1917, I've already spoke about it. One of my favourite movies of the last year. We'll be reviewing that on Friday, incidentally. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I really enjoyed, and Parasite I've not seen yet, but by all accounts a powerhouse of a movie. So anyone could win that. I'm not even going to try and guess. I'll finish up by touching upon Best Supporting Actor and Actress, and then maybe speaking about cinematographer or cinematography, and then I'll go on to my next topic. Best Supporting Actor: Tom Hanks, Anthony Hopkins, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Brad Pitt. Incidentally, Robert De Niro being snubbed for Best Actor. The only person in a primary acting role from The Irishman not to be snubbed, and he's the leading man. The whole story is weaving around. That was interesting. From this category, I would probably go with... Oh, it's a real tough one. If I was to have my arm twisted, I'd probably pick... Oh, it's so tough. I can't pick. Brad Pitt, maybe, because I really love Cliff Booth. But then you're snubbing the likes of Al Pacino and Joe Pesci. I do not begrudge these guys at the Academy for having to make choices in these categories. It's so tough. There's so many good performances in there, and I can't pick. Kathy Bates, incidentally, from Best Supporting Actress, Laura Dern, Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, and Margot Robbie. Look, I actually take it back. I think Scarlett Johansson should probably have a real battle with Florence Pugh for obviously the best acting role, and then maybe give Laura Dern the Best Supporting Actress as Marriage Story, or from Marriage Story, because Jesus Christ, man, she was so good in that movie as well. And I don't think Scarlett Johansson, she had a decent role in Jojo Rabbit, but I don't know if she's deserving of a nomination for her performance in that movie. So maybe give Scarlett. No, I want Florence Pugh to win. You see what I mean? I can't even pick. I'm having a mare here, and I have no say in these things, and I'm struggling to make my choices, so god damn it, I really do feel for the Academy. Finally, look, no, if you're still here, incidentally, you deserve a medal. This is just a shambles of a show. I'm discombobulated and all over the shop. But look, final topic or category I'll speak about is Best Cinematography. And for me, there's no competition. Some people would disagree and think that maybe Jared Blaschke, if that's how you say his name, should win for The Lighthouse. And it is a strong category, but for me, Roger Deakins for 1917 has to pick up the award. Second year running, he has to win the award. Absolutely stunning the way they crafted that one shot, continuous shot effect in 1917. One of the real standouts of that movie. So for me, there is no contest. But look, guys, I'm moving on. I'm done with the Oscars. Controversy is a lot of nonsense. Social justice warriors getting off their heads again. They are never happy. They will find fault in every single thing. There is a couple of snubs in there, but look, it's not like other years where there's been clear people undone, or harshly done to. You could maybe argue for Eddie Murphy and the likes of William Dafoe, but look, it happens. And it's absolutely stacked this year. There is movies in this category, in categories this year, which would have won in handsomely last year. I mean, Rami Malek won for Best Actor last year. He would not even get nominated this year. Jesus Christ. So, I'm not having the controversy. I think the right choices in the main have been made. And I'm going to move on to the next topic. It's all about the Batman. We seem to speak about this on a nigh on daily basis, but I felt I had to speak about it again because we've had a couple of very intriguing little articles come through regarding this movie, and it's Peter Sarsgaard, incidentally, who has been cast in this movie. I can't recall who he's been cast as. He has been cast, and he's been speaking about his experience working with Matt Reeves on this movie. He says that his directing and the cast is so awesome, it feels different from every other Batman movie to me. Just with the cast, there's something about it. He says there's an edge. He has a real youthful vibrance about it. And it's almost like a Pixies concert where it has this raw energy. It's got something really special going on where it feels quite raw and vivacious, but it's not directed at a specific young audience or a specific demographic, but he just feels there's a power and a chaos to it, and it's a really emotional movie. He thinks it's going to be really powerful and it's going to blow people away, so this gets me excited for this movie, man. Jesus, as if I can't get any more excited. I can't wait to see what Matt Reeves has gave us here. It can't come quick enough. The cast that he's assembled is quite simply a joke, preposterous. You've got the likes of Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Colin Farrell, Paul Dano. It's off the scale, man. Andy Serkis as Alfred. And then you hear little snippets like this as an aside to the cast of just the experience of being on this set, and it feels like a special moment. They feel like they're creating magic here. And we've seen this before when we've had really good movies getting crafted. People saying that they could sense that in the moment that this was going to be something special, and by all accounts, Peter Sarsgaard is feeling that. And I'm not surprised, because Matt Reeves always struck me as a guy who has really got the canon, got the mythology behind Batman. He's doing something different. He's shying away from the brute force of the character and going for more of the world's best detective side of things. He's a young, green-nosed Bruce Wayne coming into a city full of corruption. We have the likes of the Penguin in the shadows, perhaps playing the likes of Falcone-like puppets, and he has to come in and clean this up using detective cerebral nuance alongside, hopefully, his Cape Crusader escapades. And look, speaking about Cape Crusading escapades, Robert Pattinson's also been speaking about this movie as a little aside, and he says that he's ready to push the Batman in a really crazy new direction. And he's been speaking to someone, I don't know who it is, it's Empire magazine, Jesus Christ, and he's been saying that the only thing that's more complicated is the rating, and as soon as you make something an R-rated movie, you're freed up to do so much stuff in terms of the character itself. I want to push it as far as it possibly can go, and I think Matt Reeves does as well. You can do crazy stuff with that. Now, the first thing that stands out to me here is, as soon as you make something an R-rated movie, now it's not been confirmed that this movie is R-rated, but we have seen previous articles come out and suggest that DC are going off in a new horizon, going in a new creative direction, really embracing R-rated movies after the success of Joker. They've not announced that the Batman will be R-rated, but Jesus Christ, I think he's hinting that it will be. And my God, that gets me excited. That gets me so excited. Over and above the cast, over and above this zeitgeist moment that these actors are experiencing on the set, if you then add as an aside onto this that it is an R-rated movie, oh my sweet baby Jesus, what can be done with an R rating in a Batman movie? It just gets my creative juices flowing, and I'm not even involved. Lots of violence, lots of blood and guts, and just maybe a different edge to Batman that we've not seen. Maybe him learning to not kill anyone. Maybe in the beginning of this very specific Batman story, he is killing people left, right and centre, and then he develops and realises the errors of his way and goes off into the traditional figure that we have loved for many years. My God, that's the only thing I can think of when Pattinson's speaking about pushing it off in crazy new directions, armed with an R-rated rating, for lack of... I always struggle with it. R-rating. Armed with an R-rating, John. Jesus Christ. Maybe see killing galore, bloods and guts, multiple villains in here, might have liberties happening left, right and centre, and my God, if I hadn't... I mean, I don't need an excuse to be getting excited for this movie, but if you were to give me another excuse in the form of an R rating, then I'll lap that up. I will take that like a dog takes some Well, anything in my case. I've got a Labrador and he eats just about everything. But yes, look guys, I'm acutely aware I've probably got about a minute and a half, so I'm going to cut the final two topics. The last one, incidentally, was about Bond 25 and Billie Eilish being the person to do the theme song. So I'll briefly say that. I'll speak for about a minute more before it cuts out the camera and I have to end the show abruptly. This is an intriguing choice, bringing Billie Eilish in to do the Bond theme. She's not the traditional Bond soloist artist. She has a distinct, hushed, quiet singing style, and I don't know how that's going to lend itself to this movie. It being the culmination of, obviously, Daniel Craig's tenure as Bond. Feels like the end of an era and a distinctly different movie. I got that vibe from the trailer, so they've made a bold decision here, picking Billie Eilish. She's certainly a wildly talented young girl, or woman. She's 18 now, I think. So, yeah, I mean, I'm on board for that. I think it'll be pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see what she does. She's obviously wrote it with her brother. They co-write everything. So, yeah, I'm intrigued by that. It's going to be interesting to see what it sounds like. I'm sure it'll come out very, very soon. But look guys, I'm going to end the show on that note. I spoke about the Oscars way too long and I screwed myself for other topics. What did you guys make of the Bong Joon Ho nonsense with Adam McKay? Should this be getting a mini-series or should it just leave the movie be? Is it great on its own and it doesn't need tarted up for Western audiences? What's your thoughts on Peter Sarsgaard and Robert Pattinson speaking about their excitement and pushing the Batman off in a crazy new direction? What do you think about Billie Eilish doing the Bond theme song? And what do you make about the Oscars? If you've got anything to say, you can comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and you can subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And if you do, then you'll see my ugly mush again tomorrow for another MBE movie news.